You don't belong here. I'm calling the police." Those were the words a hotel manager said to a 15-year-old black honor student who was simply sitting in a lobby waiting for his parents. What happened next will shock you and restore your faith in justice. Today, I'm sharing a story that will make you question everything you think you know about power, privilege, and the dangerous cost of assumptions. This isn't just another tale about racism. This is about what happens when bias meets reality in the most shocking way possible. Have you ever witnessed someone being treated differently because of how they look? Maybe you've seen it at a store, restaurant, or hotel. That uncomfortable moment when you know something isn't right, but you're not sure what to do. Well, what I'm about to tell you will stay with you long after this video ends. Racial profiling happens every single day in America. It happens in coffee shops, department stores, swimming pools, and yes, luxury hotels. Black families, especially black children, face this reality constantly. They're followed, questioned, and treated like criminals simply for existing in spaces where others assume they don't belong. But here's what makes this story different. What happens when the person being profiled has connections that run deeper than anyone could expect? What happens when the very system designed to exclude them is actually under their control? The research is clear. Racial profiling doesn't just hurt in the moment. It creates lasting trauma, especially for young people. Kids who experience this kind of treatment often struggle with self-esteem, academic performance, and trust in authority figures. Families are torn apart by the stress. Communities lose faith in the institutions meant to serve them. Today's story takes place at one of the most prestigious hotels in the city. A 15-year-old black student, well-dressed and respectful, simply waiting for his parents. A white hotel manager who made assumptions based on nothing but the color of his skin. And a phone call that would change everything. You see, sometimes life has a way of teaching us lessons we never saw coming. Sometimes the very people we underestimate hold more power than we could ever imagine. And sometimes, justice comes in ways that are so perfect, so unexpected, that they restore your faith in karma itself. Before we get into this incredible story, I want you to think about your own experiences. Have you ever been judged unfairly? Have you witnessed someone else being treated differently because of their race? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your stories matter, and sharing them helps us all understand the real impact of these situations. Now, let me tell you about Kian Sterling and the day that changed everything. Meet Kian Sterling, 15 years old, honor roll student, and star player on his high school tennis team. Standing at 5 feet 10 inches with an infectious smile, Kian carries himself with the quiet confidence that comes from being raised in a family that values hard work and education above everything else. Kian isn't your average teenager. While most kids his age are worried about social media likes and video games, he's already thinking about college applications and his future career in business. He speaks 3 languages, maintains a 4.2 GPA, and volunteers at the local community center every weekend. His tennis coach calls him the most disciplined young athlete he's ever trained. But what Kian doesn't know, what very few people know, is just how powerful his family really is. His father, Darius Sterling, didn't start life with privilege. Born and raised in Chicago's South Side, Darius worked his way through college washing dishes at restaurants and cleaning office buildings at night. After earning his MBA from Northwestern, he climbed the corporate ladder one rung at a time. Today, at 45, Darius is the CEO of Sterling Hospitality Group, one of the largest hotel chains in North America, with over 300 properties across the United States and Canada. Darius keeps his personal life private. He doesn't flaunt his wealth or position. Most people who meet him have no idea they're talking to a man who oversees a billion-dollar empire. He drives a modest car, wears simple clothes, and believes that respect should be earned, not demanded. Kian's mother, Camille Sterling, is equally impressive. A graduate of Harvard Law School, she's now a partner at one of the city's most prestigious law firms, specializing in civil rights and corporate law. She's argued cases before the Supreme Court and has been featured on the cover of Legal Today magazine. Like her husband, Camille believes in staying humble despite her success. The Sterling family lives by 3 simple rules. Work hard, treat everyone with respect, and never forget where you came from. They've taught Kian that character matters more than money, and that true power comes from lifting others up, not putting them down. On this particular Tuesday afternoon, Kian finds himself in the marble lobby of the Prestige Grand Hotel in downtown Atlanta. The hotel is stunning. Crystal chandeliers, polished floors, and expensive artwork adorning every wall. It's the kind of place where business deals worth millions happen over afternoon coffee. Kian is here waiting for his parents after tennis practice. They're running late from a meeting, and since the hotel is only 2 blocks from his school, they asked him to meet them in the lobby. He's sitting in one of the plush leather chairs, still wearing his tennis clothes, scrolling through his homework assignments on his phone. To anyone looking, he appears to be just another teenager. Clean-cut, polite, minding his own business. But to some people, his presence in this exclusive space feels wrong. Threatening, even. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like you didn't belong, even though you had every right to be there? Share your experiences in the comments. These stories need to be heard. Rebecca Mitchell has been the day manager at Prestige Grand Hotel for 8 years. At 37, she takes pride in maintaining what she calls standards. To her, standards mean keeping the lobby exclusive, the clientele upscale, and any undesirables at bay. When Rebecca first notices Kian sitting in the lobby, something bothers her. She can't put her finger on it, but he looks out of place. His tennis clothes seem too casual for such an upscale establishment. His youth makes her suspicious. Most importantly, in her mind, he doesn't look like the type of person who belongs at the Prestige Grand. For 20 minutes, she watches him from behind the front desk. Kian sits quietly, occasionally checking his phone, completely unaware of the scrutiny. He's done nothing wrong, but Rebecca's discomfort grows with each passing minute. Finally, she approaches his chair with measured steps and a forced smile. "Excuse me, young man," she says, her voice carrying false sweetness. "Are you a guest at our hotel?" Kian looks up politely. "No, ma'am. I'm waiting for my parents. They're meeting me here." "I see." Rebecca's smile fades slightly. "And they are. They're running a bit late from their meeting. They should be here soon." Rebecca crosses her arms. "What's your parents' names? I can check our guest registry." "They're not staying here," Kian explains patiently. "We're just meeting here before dinner. They chose this place because it's close to my school." The explanation doesn't satisfy Rebecca. If anything, it makes her more suspicious. Why would parents choose an expensive hotel lobby as a meeting spot unless they were trying to impress someone? In her experience, people like this boy don't just hang out in places like the Prestige Grand. "I'm going to need you to wait outside," she says, her tone shifting from fake friendly to cold authority. "This lobby is for hotel guests and their invited visitors only." Kian's eyebrows raise in surprise. "Ma'am, I'm not bothering anyone. I'm just sitting here quietly waiting for my parents. That's not the point. Hotel policy is hotel policy." Other guests in the lobby begin to notice the exchange. An elderly white couple near the elevators glance over with curious expressions. A businessman at a nearby table stops typing on his laptop to watch. The atmosphere grows tense as voices carry across the marble space. "I understand you have policies," Kian responds, his voice remaining calm and respectful. "But I'm not doing anything wrong. My parents will be here any minute." Rebecca's frustration builds. She's used to people complying immediately when she asserts her authority. This teenager's polite resistance feels like defiance. "Look, I don't want any trouble, she says, raising her voice slightly. But I'm telling you to leave. Now, a woman with her young daughter moves to another seating area, clearly uncomfortable with the confrontation. The businessman shakes his head disapprovingly, though it's unclear whether his disapproval is directed at Rebecca or Kian. Kian remains seated, his hands folded in his lap. Ma'am, I'm respectfully declining to leave. I have every right to sit in this public lobby while waiting for my parents. I haven't broken any laws or hotel policies. His calm confidence infuriates Rebecca. In her mind, this confirms her suspicions. Why would an innocent kid refuse to leave unless he was up to something? Fine, she snaps, pulling out her phone. Marcus, I need you in the lobby immediately. We have a situation. Marcus, the hotel's security guard, arrives within minutes. He's a large man in his 50s who's worked hotel security for over a decade. When he sees Kian, young, black, and apparently refusing to follow the manager's instructions, he makes his own assumptions. What's the problem here? Marcus asks, positioning himself next to Rebecca. This young man is refusing to leave the premises, Rebecca explains. I've asked him multiple times, and he won't comply. Marcus looks down at Kian with authority. Son, you need to come with me. Sir, I'm waiting for my parents, Kian repeats, his voice still steady despite the growing pressure. I haven't done anything wrong. The lobby is now completely silent except for their conversation. Every guest is watching. Some pull out their phones, though whether to call for help or record the incident isn't clear. Rebecca has had enough. She dials 911. Yes, I need police at the Prestige Grand Hotel. We have a young man refusing to leave our property after being asked multiple times. He appears to be loitering and won't identify himself properly. Kian's eyes widen in disbelief. You're calling the police because I'm sitting in a chair? Within minutes, the sound of sirens fills the air outside. Have you ever witnessed a situation like this where someone was treated unfairly because of how they looked? What did you do? Share your experiences in the comments below. These conversations matter more than you know. Two police officers enter the Prestige Grand Hotel lobby. Officer Johnson, a veteran cop in his 40s, and Officer Martinez, younger and newer to the force. The marble floors echo with their heavy footsteps as they approach the scene. Rebecca immediately rushes over to meet them, her voice filled with authority and certainty. Officers, thank you for coming so quickly, she says, gesturing toward Kian. That young man has been loitering in our lobby for over an hour. I've asked him to leave multiple times, but he refuses to comply. I suspect he might be casing the place or waiting to meet someone for illegal activity. Officer Johnson looks at Kian, who remains seated with his hands visible and his tennis bag at his feet. Son, what's your name? Kian Sterling. He answers clearly, looking directly at the officer. I'm 15 years old, and I'm waiting for my parents. Can you show me some identification? Kian reaches slowly into his tennis bag and pulls out his student ID from Westfield Preparatory Academy, one of the city's most prestigious private schools. Officer Johnson examines it carefully. What are you doing here, Kian? My parents asked me to meet them here after tennis practice. They're running late from a business meeting. I've been sitting here quietly, not bothering anyone. Officer Martinez looks around the lobby, noting the expensive decor and well-dressed guests. This is a pretty upscale place for a 15-year-old to be hanging out. My parents chose it because it's 2 blocks from my school, Kian explains patiently. They should be here any minute. Rebecca interrupts, her confidence growing with police backup. Officers, I've been managing this hotel for 8 years. I know when someone doesn't belong. Look at him. Tennis clothes in a 5-star hotel? No adult supervision? Something isn't right. A crowd has definitely gathered now. Hotel guests pretend to read newspapers or check their phones while listening intently. Several people have started recording with their smartphones, though they try to be discreet about it. Officer Johnson notices the attention. Can you call your parents? Yes, sir, Kian says, pulling out his iPhone. He dials his mother's number first. It goes straight to voicemail. She's probably still in court. He tries his father next. Dad, I need you to come to the hotel now, Kian says when Darius answers. The police are here, and they're saying I can't wait for you in the lobby. The phone conversation is brief, but Officer Johnson can hear a man's voice on the other end becoming increasingly concerned and angry. My father is on his way, Kian tells the officers after hanging up. He said he'll be here in 5 minutes. Rebecca shakes her head dismissively. Officers, I don't care who he claims is coming. Hotel policy is clear, and he's been disruptive to our guest experience. He doesn't look disruptive to me, Officer Martinez observes quietly, noting Kian's respectful demeanor and clean appearance. That's not the point, Rebecca snaps. I have the right to refuse service to anyone, and I'm exercising that right. I want him removed from the property immediately. The tension in the lobby reaches a breaking point. Some guests look uncomfortable with the situation, while others seem to support the manager's position. The recording phones capture every word, every expression, every moment of this confrontation. Officer Johnson looks at his watch, then at Kian. We'll wait 5 minutes for your parents to arrive. If they don't show up, you'll need to leave with us. Kian nods, his jaw tight, but his composure intact. Thank you, officer. They'll be here. Rebecca crosses her arms with satisfaction, certain that she's about to be proven right. In her mind, no legitimate parent is coming to rescue this situation. She has no idea what's about to walk through those doors. Within minutes of Darius revealing his identity, Rebecca Mitchell knows her career is over. She stands frozen in the lobby, watching her world collapse in real time as hotel guests continue recording every moment on their phones. Darius pulls out his own phone and makes a call that Rebecca dreads hearing. Linda, it's Darius. I need you to immediately terminate Rebecca Mitchell, day manager at the Prestige Grand. Effective immediately. Yes, right now. I'll explain everything later, but document this as termination for cause related to discrimination and misuse of authority. Rebecca's knees nearly buckle. 8 years of employment, gone in 30 seconds. Mr. Sterling, please, she begs, her earlier arrogance completely evaporated. I made a mistake. I can learn from this. I have a family, a mortgage. Darius looks at her with no sympathy. Ms. Mitchell, you didn't make a mistake. You made a choice. You chose to see my son as a threat instead of a customer. You chose to call the police instead of showing basic human decency. You chose to double down on your prejudice even when presented with facts. Officer Johnson approaches Darius carefully. Sir, we apologize for this situation. If we had known. Officer, you responded to a call and did your job professionally. Darius interrupts. This isn't about you. This is about a culture that automatically assumes black people are criminals until proven otherwise. The lobby buzzes with hushed conversations as word spreads throughout the hotel. Staff members who witnessed the confrontation look mortified. Regular guests who frequent the hotel seem shocked by what they've just witnessed. Camille Sterling arrives 20 minutes later, still in her court attire. As a civil rights attorney, she immediately understands the legal implications of what just occurred. How are you holding up, baby? She asks Kian, wrapping him in a protective hug. I'm okay, Mom. Just confused about why this happened. Camille's professional instincts kick in. She approaches the officers and ensures they document every detail of the incident. She also requests copies of any hotel security footage. By the end of the day, Sterling Hospitality Group releases a public statement. Today, an incident occurred at our Prestige Grand Hotel that goes against everything our company stands for. We sincerely apologize to the Sterling family and to our community for the discriminatory treatment they experienced. The employee responsible has been terminated, and we are implementing immediate company-wide sensitivity training. We are committed to ensuring this never happens again at any of our properties. The story goes viral within hours. Videos from the lobby flood social media platforms with hashtags like #PrestigeGrandProiling and #BlackExcellenceMatters. News outlets pick up the story, leading to interviews and discussions about racial bias in the hospitality industry. But perhaps most importantly, the Sterling family responds with grace and dignity. In a statement released through Camille's law firm, they say, "We don't want revenge. We want change. We want other families to know they belong in any space they choose to occupy. We want businesses to train their employees to see customers, not criminals. And we want young people like our son to know that their worth isn't determined by other people's assumptions." The incident leads to policy changes across all Sterling hospitality properties. New training programs are implemented. Hiring practices are reviewed. The company establishes a scholarship fund for students from underrepresented communities. 3 months later, Rebecca Mitchell is working at a small motel outside the city, her career in luxury hospitality effectively over. Meanwhile, Kian continues excelling in school and tennis, though the experience has given him a sobering education about the world he lives in. This story needs to be shared because it shows both the problem and the power of accountability. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. These conversations change minds and save lives. This story reveals painful truths about the reality many Black families face every day. When children like Kian experience racial profiling, it doesn't just hurt in the moment. It creates lasting wounds. Research shows that young people who face discrimination struggle with anxiety, depression, and decreased academic performance. They begin to question their worth and their place in society. For parents like Darius and Camille, watching their child experience racism is heartbreaking and infuriating. No amount of success, education, or wealth can shield Black families from these encounters. Even when you're the CEO, even when you own the building, your child can still be seen as a threat. The hospitality industry has a massive problem with racial bias. From swimming pools to hotel lobbies, Black guests face discrimination at rates far higher than other groups. Staff members make split-second judgments based on appearance, clothing, or age that can escalate into humiliating and traumatic experiences. But here's what businesses need to understand. Bias isn't just morally wrong, it's expensive. Rebecca's actions cost Sterling Hospitality millions in negative publicity, legal fees, and damage control. Companies that allow discrimination face lawsuits, boycotts, and destroyed reputations. Change happens when we acknowledge these problems exist and take action. It happens when businesses invest in proper training, when managers check their assumptions, and when bystanders speak up instead of staying silent. The Sterling family chose to turn their pain into purpose, using their platform to create lasting change. Their response shows the power of dignity in the face of injustice. This story isn't just about one family or one hotel. It's about all of us and the world we're creating together. What will you do with this story? Will you share it to start conversations? Will you speak up when you witness bias? Will you examine your own assumptions about who belongs where? Hit that like button if this story moved you. Subscribe for more powerful stories, and share your thoughts below. Together, we can build a world where every child feels safe and valued, no matter where they are.